There is a moment just after you step through the doors of the Musée d'Orsay when the scale of the place stops you. This was not built to be a museum, it was built to move people. Trains once departed from this hall. Now, the only thing that leaves are your thoughts you did not have when you arrived. I always head to the same place first, Van Gogh. He painted himself 35 times. Not from vanity. He was the only model he could always afford. The Orsay holds more than Impressionists. Every room is a different conversation between the painter and the world they lived in. These long vertical panels stop people without explanation. There is no single focal point, just pattern, rhythm, and the sense that someone spent years deciding where each line should go. This is the Art Nouveau movement. Museums make me aware of how I move. I slow down, I become quieter, not because a sign tells me to, but because the building asks it of me. Orsay was designed by Victor Laloux. He had 48 hours to submit his plans for the 1900 World's Fair. What he drew in those 48 hours still stops people 125 years later. The clock. People come from every corner of the world to stand behind it, to look through its face at Paris. I think we come because it reminds us that time is not the enemy, it's just the frame. The sculpture hall is where I slow down the most. There's something about stone that holds attention differently than paint. Paint is a decision made in a moment. Stone is a decision made forever. Every chisel mark is permanent. The sculptor has no second chance. Look at that fabric, marble, made to look like cloth. The person who carved this spent months, perhaps years, teaching hard stone to be soft. The Orsay has over 80 sculptures in this hall alone. Most people walk past them quickly, heading for the paintings upstairs. I stay longer. There's something humbling about standing next to a thing made entirely by human hands that has outlasted every person who has ever looked at it. This is the genius of fame. And then there are the faces. Portrait busts were how the 19th century remembered its important people. Their names are often forgotten, but their expressions remain. Rodin once said that sculpture is the art of the hole and the bump. He meant that the emotion does not live in the surface, it lives in the shadow between the surfaces. The decorative arts gallery are often overlooked. People rush through them toward the Impressionists. But stop. Stop here for a moment. This is Alphonse Mucha, a Czech artist who came to Paris almost by accident and invented a visual language the whole world would copy. He called it simply the style. The world called it Art Nouveau. Notice how the women in Mucha's work are never passive. They occupy their own world, ornate, yes, but entirely their own. And then the mood changes, from decoration to emotion. This face, she's not posing, she's somewhere else entirely. The word impressionist was originally an insult. A critic saw Monet's painting in 1874 and wrote that it looked unfinished, that the artist was painting mere impressions, not reality. The artist adopted the name because they knew something the critic did not, that an impression is reality. Look at the brushwork here. From a distance, it resolves into a face. Up close, it is just color and movement, like memory. The Impressionists changed what painting was allowed to be. Before them, art had rules. about what subjects mattered, about how clearly you had to render them. They broke everyone, and what they gained was light. Not light as description, light as feeling. Rooms like this one are why people cross oceans, not to say they were here, but to feel something they could not feel elsewhere. Before the Impressionists, the salon painters ruled France. These are the academic masters, painters who spent years learning to make the impossible look inevitable. Their technique was flawless. Their figures looked almost alive, too perfect, some say. But perfection is its own kind of honesty. Figures are made of light. There is no brush stroke visible, just skin. The realist painters wanted something different, not mythology, not allegory, just people as they actually were. There's a quite radicalism in that, to say that an ordinary life deserves this kind of attention, that a fisherman, a washerwoman, a tired man at the end of a day are worthy subjects for great art. These large paintings were made to be looked at from far away. Scale was a statement. The realists wanted you to feel the weight of the world they were painting. Not all rooms in the Orsay are about beauty. Some are about grief, about struggle, about the parts of life that paintings is one of the few places where we are allowed to look at it directly. Before I leave, I always return to where I started, Van Gogh. He sold one painting in his lifetime. One. Today, there are queues around the block to stand near his work. The last thing I notice is always something small, not the famous works, not the ones on the postcards. Something quiet, in a corner, that no one stopped for. Art does not ask to be understood, it asks to be felt. The rest is optional. The last thing I do before leaving is stand on the upper gallery and look down. All these people, all here for something they cannot explain, something that asks nothing of them except to be present, that I think is enough. These are just my observations. Notes from France. If this resonated, hit the like and subscribe for more notes. What stayed with you from this visit? Tell me in the comments. More notes coming soon. See you next time. Take care.